On today's episode, we look at all the upgrades that you can put on your Schumacher XLS. Since it's now been discontinued, every one of you seems to have rushed out and bought one, so I thought this would be a great video to show you what you can do to your stock XLS. So stay tuned to find out. Hi and welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, we're talking about the XLS and all the upgrades that you can get for this lovely car. Now, the XLS went out of production last month and everyone rushed out and picked up the last ones and they're all pretty much gone. You'll probably see them starting to pop up for more and more money all the time. So I was thinking about getting one myself when I heard about it, but I thought, well, spending that money on a kit that's just going to sit there doesn't really help the channel. So I thought instead of spending the money on the kit, I'll spend the money on option parts, because that way I can show you guys all the options that are available for these kits, and then you can get a bit more information on them to decide whether they're ones you want to do or whether they're just not worth it. Now, obviously I haven't fitted them to the car, so I don't know what kind of performance improvements, if any, and things like that. But I thought today would be a good idea to run through them all in detail so that you guys can get numbers, prices, and there might be upgrades in there that you don't know about. So this is my Cat XLS. I've had it about a year and a half. There's quite a lot of videos on this. I'll put a link up here if you want to go and check out all those videos. There's about 4 or 5 of them of me building it up, running it and things like that. Now, a few of you that have been watching the channel for a while will know that I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this car. Hate working on it, hate building it, but I actually really adore the car and it's lovely to drive. So obviously I'm really looking forward to having to strip the whole car down to rebuild it with all these option parts. And that is my tip number 1. If you have one of these and you're thinking of building it, pick up your option parts first. Don't build it and then go back again, because it's not the easiest car in the world to work on. So that's my first tip. Obviously I didn't do that, so I have a big pile of parts and a car that I now need to completely strip down to build again. Let me just take a moment when I think about that. So that will be coming soon, but I'm just not going to think about that because it will just really put me off. My kit is basically completely stock. The only change I think is I've put an anti-roll bar on the rear. I think it's the rear, or is it the front? The front or the rear comes as an option part. I've already fitted that. I think it was the rear if I remember rightly. Sorry, it's been quite a while. But apart from that, it's pretty much exactly stock. So what am I going to do with mine? Well, the first thing is I have a whole new body, top tray, bottom and wing. I'm not going to paint it up in the standard livery again, the box art version, but what I'm actually going to do, being that I'm going to personalize this car quite a lot, I thought I would stick with the same 3 color design and the same layout, but I'm going to do different colors. So I'm going to use my favorite color at the moment is I'm into the metallic blue. So I'm going to do a blue scheme, so it kind of matches this car. So maybe blue, white, and something else. I haven't decided yet, or maybe just blue, light, a dark blue, light blue, and a white, or something like that. I honestly don't know. I would have got it out, but it's at the bottom of a load of boxes, so I just couldn't face taking all the boxes down to get out the body to show you. Right, what else have we got? Now, the other thing that I purchased before I went down this route was the silver rims. Now, comment below what you think. Fan or not a fan? Prefer the black standard kit ones. These seem to be a bit of a Marmite. Some people love them, some people hate them. I actually quite like them and it lifts the car. But I don't know until I've painted my own body whether these will look nicer than the black ones. But with the standard box art, I think the chrome wheels make it do pop a little bit. So because I was running this car, I picked up my own tyres so that I could run it on concrete and I could run it on short grass, which is what I did. So I've kind of kept those, but running on sort of proper wet grass, these are great for that. So whether I'll put them on the car or not, I honestly don't know. That will be a decision at the end. Now the rims are U7247, that's the rears, and the fronts are U7246. The rears seem to be in stock and quite easy to get hold of currently as of this video today, but the fronts seem to be a little bit harder to get hold of. Obviously they're different, they're much thinner, but I'm pretty sure you can hunt around, you can still find them. Among prices that I saw without shopping around too much was $6.99 for 2 fronts and $6.99 for 2 rears. You might see them a bit more expensive and a bit less, but that's what I saw them today. Right, let's go through the pile of parts. It's taken me about a month and a half to gather up all these parts. There is some that I have ordered but haven't arrived yet. Only one set, which seems to be very difficult to get hold of. I paid for them, but they're on back order, so whether I'll actually get them or not, I honestly don't know. Luckily for me, they're a part that I can change without having to strip down the whole car. Right, let's go through the parts I have now, and then we'll talk about the bits that I don't have, and there's a few option parts that I haven't decided whether I'm actually going to get them or not. Right, the first one is the big one, which is the Pro transmission. I don't know the part number, I'll put a link below. This is a big, hefty upgrade for this car, very expensive. So my take on it currently is that it is quite an expensive upgrade, and if you're going to run brushless in this, obviously you have to go to that, but if you're running a reasonably hot brushed motor, you can still use that, and that's perfectly fine. This runs beautiful as it is with a standard transmission, and it feels quick enough to me. So I don't really want it to be pulling wheelies and things like that, but I got it anyway because that's the kind of idiot I am. And being that I'm going to be stripping the whole thing down, it was worth doing it. And I think a lot of you guys want to see. The main thing I'm hoping is this is a much more smoother transmission as well as a stronger transmission. It should be for that money, I tell you. Right, the first thing we've got is U7266, which is a rear suspension in carbon fibre, which is basically this one at the back here. That's that one. I'll put the prices below because I don't know off the top of my head. Then we've got U7265, which is a rear shock mount. That's really thick, much thicker than the one that's actually here. That's what it replaces there. It is a different shape, and you also, by the looks of it, have more options for things. There's more holes in it. Then we have U7292, which is an alloy rear trans housing, which is a metal plate that basically replaces this whole section here, which is part of the sandwich. It's the end section. Comes with a drill bit, so there must be some upgrades you have to do to drill out some holes, maybe to take bigger screws, I'm guessing. Then kind of what partners that is the U7294, which is an alloy rear trans spacer, which basically goes in here somewhere at the front and is part of the sandwich as well. Again, comes with a drill bit, so you have to drill out some holes. Next one is one I was desperately wanted to get before they disappeared, and that's U7293, alloy front trans housing. That's the part in there, and that's the bit that you undo these screws and you pull this whole front section forward and backwards to set your tensions on your belt. I'm hoping that going to metal ones, it makes it easier to adjust. It slides better, but I honestly don't know. Plus the one that's in there is a bit naff plastic, so that's one I was kind of happy that I wanted to do, even though you've got to dismantle the whole lot to get it in there. Next one was, at the moment this runs just a standard Tamiya sort of pack across, but I wanted to change to saddle packs because I've got saddle packs as well. So I picked up some U7267 lipo straps. So I'm going to change this to saddle packs instead. Then I picked up these, which again, I forget what part it is, I'll put it below. And that replaces this part here in metal. And then there's another bit that goes on the inside, I think. Oh no, it goes on this side. So there's two of those. Whether that makes any difference, maybe it's a bit more, the tolerances are a bit better than the plastic one, I honestly don't know. Right, then we get on to some of the bit more carbon. Now this one was quite a difficult one to chase down, and it finally came in. U7264, which is the servo spacer and CTR cat steering rod, which goes in here in carbon. That was quite a difficult one to get. That only just came in. But I also have what goes with that, and that is Masami Models, and that is a bull race steering kit, and that is MUZ170601B, and that is like a modification that you do for the steering, but you then need that plate to attach to it. So getting those two, I didn't want to order one until I got the other, and that was quite difficult to order. So I finally came in so I can give it a steering upgrade. So that is a really good steering upgrade for the system to make it a little bit more precise. I have heard people that really rave about that. Some other things that I got from Masami Models was the tiniest little thing, PTFE Teflon stock pistons, 3 times 1.2 millimeters, and the other one is different, 3 times 1.2 millimeters. So this should make the shocks a little bit more smoother. So I picked up 2 of those as well. Last one from them was the adjustable front arms instead of the stock ones along here, so you can adjust your camber on the front. So I picked up some of those. Pretty cool, I like that. Gives me another option to dial in the front. And then we get to 2 quite expensive ones. The U7264, which is the top deck in carbon. Quite sturdy too, and that's the top deck that goes in there. But obviously you then need to get U7263, which is the carbon chassis as well, which is a direct replacement. So as you can see, all these upgrades means you've basically got to dismantle the whole car, because I'm changing probably, what, 60% of the car? With that lot, maybe more, 70% maybe. Now the parts I don't have, there isn't that many, but there's the eccentric alloy parts, which is U7245, which are, you can't really see, but in here you can set the belt tension for the first belt in there by adjusting it. And there's 2 plastic collars, and it's those collars that seem to be completely sold out everywhere, but I've put an order in for one, so whether I get it or not, I honestly don't know. Luckily, it's not too much of a problem to change them out. I was kind of hoping that they would turn up. I don't see them turning up in the next week or 2, so I'll just build it without them, and then I'll have to redo the work afterwards. When I rebuild it, I will look to see what's the simplest way, and I'll make some notes so that I can remember when they arrive how easy, what I need to dismantle to get at them the easiest. And then the only other thing I've seen is U7243, which is alloy washer carriers, which is basically where the wheels screw into the joint. You can get those. I'm not sure if I'll get those or not. They are available. I just don't know whether they're really... and I'm also trying to worry about weight. I don't want it to get too heavy. I did an upgrade on a TT02B, and the thing got so heavy. I'm a bit concerned that I don't go too nuts. So that's quite a lot of mods, and I'm obviously adding a bit of weight there as well. So that's what's coming soon, so stay tuned. Whew, quite a list, yes. And what I'll do now is I'll put a total price at the bottom here. Right now, as I tell you that, I don't know what it is. But yes, I'm assuming it's probably about the same as the kit, if not slightly more. Things I do for you guys. Anyway, thanks very much. Please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to have more RC content coming at you early, then head over to the Patreon page, as I'm posting constantly in the background all the time. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.